guys, I know you guys want to play one of my games, if it's Child Frontier. Mass Motocross 2 offered Outlaws, and I know you guys might want to be watching some PUBG, but we're not going to get into that yet. But today, I told my friend Jaden, you know, I want to get subscribers. And I'm like, how do I do that? And he's like, And then my friend Jaden, Eric, you know him. He's like, maybe you should do a reaction video. And I was watching a funny video, and I thought of this, and I'm like, hey, I should do that, right? So right now we're gonna react to a video. Okay, ready, guys? Okay, so I'm already watching it, so there's gonna be a little bit already watched. What is this? Oh, wait, he's trying to
watch guys that do play-by-plays.
What's play-by-plays?
Sports and stuff. Listen to broadcasters where they talk about.
Well, I'm doing a reaction video right now.
Oh god! Watch out! Watch out!
This one doesn't have one. That's why you should always do that self with a friend. Okay, that was pretty good. Ooh, that's what I have, a little picture like that. Probably gonna show you guys right now.
You alright?
Now let's watch some of this.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 mysterious events you wouldn't believe if they weren't recorded. There are millions of things happening all over the world every single day, so it's no surprise that sometimes mysterious and unexplained things happen. And thanks to this being the modern age, a lot of these things are caught on tape. Before we get into it, be sure to subscribe to my new channel, The Crafty. There's a link in the top right corner, so please do check it out. Coming in at number 10 is Superwoman. In this video taken in India, a woman and a man appear to be having some kind of argument. It begins in a store and then progresses onto the road. They begin to shout at each other and then a crowd forms around them. Then the man walks angrily towards the woman when the impossible happens. The woman simply raises her hands and uses what seems to be a superpower to push the man back. Not only is the man pushed back, but he's also levitated in the air by her. This is very similar to using the Force in Star Wars, except this is real life. This was taken in a small town in India and the footage is unedited. Some say this woman is like the real life version of Eleven from Stranger Things. The woman appears not to know of her superpowers as she looks confused at her hands. Then everyone around her begins screaming and running away thanks to what they'd just seen her do, even though the man was totally fine. She then screams herself and a table behind her falls over. The clip then abruptly ends. This was posted on various Indian websites and even on Indian news. Right now the man is fine but confused, and the woman apparently left the area, ran away, never to return. Next up is Teleporting Cyclist. This is one clip that seems kind of mundane at first. But then something unexplained and bizarre happened that you could miss if you blinked. One man and his friend were recording a man playing an accordion on the street. The two men were talking to the camera about the instrument. Then all of a sudden, from behind the man in the hat came an elderly man riding a bike. You may think he came up behind the man in the hat or was hiding behind him. But the man in the hat was filmed from a few angles and you could see he wasn't hiding behind him. Just before the clip ends, the guy recording asks, "Where did that guy come from?" And the man with the accordion looks round. This confusing clip was recorded in Russia in 2011 and was posted to VK, which is basically the Russian version of Facebook. The clip is totally mind-boggling as the man appears to teleport behind the man in the hat. Some say this is a camera glitch, but it doesn't look like it. A lot of people say the man on the bike is non-human or has superpowers like teleportation. This may seem far-fetched, but I can't think of any explanations for this clip. What do you think?
That's pretty interesting.
Next up is Ghost Chef. We've all seen movies like Paranormal Activity. There's a normal family home that suddenly becomes haunted and a ghost runs rampant throughout the house. Well, this actually happened to one man named Chris. He was experiencing many paranormal activities in his house at night, so one night he decided to leave his webcam on to record the event. Sure enough, at night things began to fall over, cupboards opened, and other odd things happened. This went on for many nights, and Chris recorded each night for a week. Some skeptics said he simply attached strings onto things and then pulled them about. But some things physically flew, and these things all happened at the same time, meaning this hasn't been staged. This is incredibly scary. Just imagine if this happened to your kitchen at home. One thing's for sure, if I was Chris, I would definitely get out of that house. Next up is Dragon. Dragons are big, scary creatures. You see them flying around and causing trouble in movies, but that's all fiction, right? Well, according to one mysterious video clip, maybe not. One couple were taking a film of themselves in China. It's normal at first, but then suddenly the camera woman gets distracted. She sees a creature flying through the sky and quickly tells the couple who swing around too. The couple are stunned and scared, as they should have been. Some say this is a kind of flying dragon, while others say this is a ghost or otherworldly creature. There's even a few theories that say this figure is some kind of alien. This happened at a historic site in China, and many people witnessed this baffling event. However, as it happened so quickly, these are the only guys who caught it on camera. What do you think this black flying figure is? Next up is Glassdoor. This is another very mysterious piece of surveillance footage. We all know in some hotels and offices there are revolving doors. These are spinning doors made of thick, sturdy glass. In this clip taken in an office in Brussels, Belgium, everything seems normal at first. However, as a few people who work inside the office leave, glass shatters everywhere. Everyone was fine and no one was hurt, but one thing doesn't make any sense. How could this glass have smashed? The door frame was fine and nothing before or after happened that would have done this. The people in the office were all totally confused, as most people would be if a glass door randomly smashed before their eyes. The building investigated this along with the police, but they came to no conclusion. This remains as one totally baffling piece of footage which has confounded so many people, and it's easy to see why. What do you think could have caused this door's glass to shatter into millions of pieces just like that? Next up is Floating Girl. We all know that the woods have a reputation for creepy and unexplained things happening in them, but this one piece of footage really takes the cake.
What?
Like that. Next up is Floating Girl. We all know that the woods have a reputation for creepy and unexplained things happening in them, but this one piece of footage really takes the cake. It's not a creepy clown or scary monster like we've covered in other videos. No, the odd thing about this video is actually a little girl. A man in a Russian forest was walking his dog when suddenly his dog runs off as if it sensed something. The man then chases his dog and finds it staring at something terrified. The dog was looking at a young girl levitating out in the woods. The girl then notices the man and stops floating. She then, accompanied with a man who I assume is her father, run away. This is unexplained and the Russian guy who filmed this posted it online trying to get some answers. But despite this clip being around since 2014, nobody seems to have any idea what this girl is doing or how she's doing it. Maybe she's the daughter of the superpower woman from before. Next up is Creatures in the Catacombs. In case you guys don't know about the Paris catacombs, I'll put this clip into context. In Paris, there's a set of underground tunnels which used to be mines. They were made in Paris in 1786 and officially closed in 1874, but many people still ventured into the tunnels and never found their way out as it's so complex. It's estimated 70,000 people have been lost down there, prompting theories about creatures and ghosts inside the catacombs. One man in 2014 decided to venture into the catacombs to check it out. He filmed what he was doing, but stopped walking as soon as he heard footsteps. Then all of a sudden, a scary pair of glowing eyes appeared around a dark corner. These look like the eyes of Pennywise from It, but this is one scary video whether the eyes were of a creature or something else. The man took a step further to investigate when the thing hid and peered out at him a couple more times. You can then make out the body of a non-human creature before the video ends. What do you think this thing is? And is it responsible for all those people who have gone missing down inside the catacombs? Coming up next is Sheep Thief. This is one really odd video featuring wildlife. This happened on a farmer's field in Scotland and baffled the farmer. One of the farmer's sheep was grazing in a field when suddenly a huge bird of prey flew by and stole his sheep. The sheep was a young lamb which was in one of the farmer's biggest fields. Amazingly, this was caught on camera for the world to see. The thing scientists and experts don't get is why an eagle would ever want to steal a sheep. This goes against their normal behavior and really confused them and everyone else who saw the images. The bird was massive and had an 8-foot wingspan, which is amazing on its own. But the really odd thing about this is how and why an eagle would steal a sheep. This caused a panic in Scotland. As some thought if eagles kept stealing sheep, it would be impossible to farm them. However, this seems to be just an odd one-off thing, as no evidence of this happening ever again has been caught on camera. Next up is Ghost Slam. This is a super creepy video which will not only confuse you, but it confused the guy in it. This was taken from a surveillance camera outside an apartment complex in Russia. A man was in a rush walking towards his car, when suddenly it seems like he walks into something. He falls back and is totally confused because you can see there's nothing there. Some say this was a ghost slamming into the man, but many people doubt this. There's no real explanation for what could have caused this. It's almost as if this man walked into an invisible object. The man was fine and got up a few moments afterwards. But he sure did look confused, and rightly so, because I am baffled by this clip.
Funny looking at something.
Next up is Yoda. We all know the character Yoda from Star Wars. As a kid, it might have seemed like a cool idea meeting something that looked like a real-life Yoda. But thinking about it now, it would be super creepy and scary. In Costa Rica, a few kids were messing around with a soccer ball while one of them was filming them. They were joking around and laughing when suddenly things turned creepy. A figure which seemed to be an elf-like thing came out of nowhere. It had a brown cloak, moved like a human, but was too small to be a person. It also let out a creepy, non-human kind of laugh, but it sounded more like an animal. This caused the boys playing soccer to scream and run into a different room. The really weird thing about this clip is the figure came out of nowhere. It even took the boys a second to see it, and the camera showed the area it came from before. Thanks to this, many say this thing teleported from somewhere. But I still have no idea what this thing is, and neither does anyone online. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the scariest thing.
Wow, awesome.
check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the scariest video. As I said, guys, head over to my new channel,
Okay. We might watch a more video. Should we watch how? Ooh, let's watch this. This is the last one.
In the bath. Rocky, come. Come in there. Rocky, come. Rocky, come. Come on then.
No.
Come on. Oh, Rocky, come on. Come on then.
Hey, Baxter. Baxter. Do you want a shower? Come here. Come on. Take a shower. Come on. Come on. You want a shower? Let's shower. Do you want a shower? You want a shower?
My dog didn't do it.
Easy. You want to take a bath? Who wants to take a bath? You want to take a bath, Easy?
Let's take a bath. Hey,
You want to take a bath?
you need to take a bath. Come on.
Who wants to take a bath?
You're
Yeah.
wagging your tail though.
Go ahead. What's wrong? You want to take?
Come on, Mika, let's shower you. Come on.
Come on, baby.
I'm trying to.
Come on.
Like 1 in the morning. And
We're gonna shower you. Come on.
We're gonna shower you. The shuka.
it's my goal over there. So
Come on, baby.
She knows she's gonna get showered.
She doesn't want to.
Just flip her over so she can wash.
She doesn't want to.
Oh my god. She
Mika.
just saw us get the towel in the Here, come. Come here, come. Come here. Come here, come. Left, come here, come. Come, Bruce.
Hey, take a bath? Take a bath? That's over there. Come on, let's take a bath. Hey, let's go take a bath. Come on.
I Mark doesn't mind that.
These in the tubs.
He doesn't like them, but he doesn't hate them. So he doesn't.
Let's go get a bath. Let's go get a bath, these. We can do your anal. We'll do the anal glandsies.
It's time for your bed.
Come on, Maddie.
Good. No. Oh, Maddie. 일어나. 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 알았어. 목욕하자. 일어나.
冲凉à, mới冲凉à. Yêu cầm thô cho thầy à. Ai ôi.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Shower time. Come on.